Okay, check to see if I'm online. Which has me online. YouTube says I'm online. YouTube says something. Something about bitrate. Warning. Jakarta says I'm online. Alright. I should try to debug what the heck YouTube is complaining about. Oop. Warning, the current stream is lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend you stream a bitrate of 4,500 kilobits per second. Actually, that's not too hard for me to change. Video bitrate should be 450. Yeah. Quick. Okay. Is that better? That's apparently better. All right, YouTube likes that. Neat. Oh. Oh, I see what's happened. Anyways, let's get started. Um, so, in the rare case that anyone is following my Twitter profile, I did recently share this neat um, screenshot of sorts. Hopefully it works, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? But I did add it. I did update the There we go. Sweet. I did update the code so that you can actually see this ball falling. That took a while. Long story short, the camera, the graphic raycaster's layers need to match with the camera visibility layer. But once that's in there, then I can actually track where the heck this where the heck my pointer is pointing at. I can just click out a location, and now that creates a new track. So this has been pretty awesome. Now, this behavior here isn't great that I have to kind of skip over my mouse away from the board and then click again to actually be able to see to actually be able to add some changes that I want to make. But so far, this is looking pretty good. Only other thing I probably want to do is like be able to make it so that you can't actually place the block here. So that's probably going to be the first thing I want to do, make it so that you can't actually click at these invalid locations. But the second thing, yeah, no, actually, I'm just going to focus on that first and come up with some sort of visualization to make that obvious somehow. But yeah, no, this is looking pretty good in my opinion. And so yeah, if I have I'm planning on making this a short stream since I will be gone for the holidays. very soon. I'll be gone for the holidays for a good 2 or 3 weeks, so there's that. But I at least like this U UI setup. Um, I think like there's a couple more polishes I could make, such as actually being able to show what the piece will look like when you click. Probably make this plane even larger than it is right now. I do want the plane to have a limited scale, but long story short, I do want to change the visuals because I'm using gray as a placeholder right now and it doesn't look great. Um, I would like to add in the, actual file um, saving and reopening, and then an actual car to race at the checkpoint. So lots of moving parts needs to be implemented, and progress obviously has been incredibly slow, but I'm still proud of getting even this far. So yeah, and that's also not to mention like this whole UI right here is really sucky, and I need something to replace that very soon. Um, but yeah, no, this is looking pretty darn awesome in my opinion. So um, got that. It's all looking fine and dandy. I think the reason you can see the little output console output right here. I think the reason why the focus gets lost is because the loading screen shows up and that that resets the graphic raycaster and it never seems to interpret that the plane has moved. So I might have to like kind of move the plane and so forth. There's a lot there's a lot to UI wise I can do to fix. Um, I think the first priority for me is to make sure the user cannot input within a certain range. And my like yeah, my first inclination is simply to check what the width of the track is and then say like you cannot create a track um, if the distance from where the person is clicking to the to the start end of the track that they're trying to extend from is less than the width plus a random buffer, probably like 5 units or something like that. So that's currently like the first thing I want to do. Um, so I think that's relatively easy to do. Just the question is how do I visualize that and so that the plane makes it obvious that that's the case. But whatever. We'll worry about that aggressively. Um, yeah, so that in mind, we have our add plane. It looks nice. We have this little placeholder cursor, I guess. Um, Probably could still expand these. I think I have them set to 200. I'm gonna double that. Oh, Unity stopped working. Why? Due to burst? Okay, then Unity Hub. I I wasn't expecting that. Maybe? Oh goodness, it'd suck if it has to re-import everything again. Uh, since it's complaining about burst, is it because there's like a new version that maybe fixes some problems? Yeah, it looks like we have the latest. Okay. Well, that's concerning. Gonna quickly do some off-screen things here. Upgrading to latest version, which I just did off-screen. Um, that's probably the source of my problem, actually, because I keep upgrading Unity. Let's try a different method. Let's go by clicking on Track Editor. There we go. Add plane range. Double this. Uh, double this. Double this. Double that. Double everything. Oh, I need to double this too, actually. There's an offset. The cursor looks fine. I'm thinking, oh, the cursor doesn't look fine, but I'm thinking that um, we'll have two placeholder models, a square, a cube, and the sphere will be uh, add enabled. The cube will be can't add. The can't add, I'm just going to deactivate. Yeah, save. So that should look right. Um, right, so now I can actually make like a longer piece, which I think that looks better. Um, that looks bad. Um, sure. Something to that effect. Cool. Alright, so that looks nice. I like that. Let's actually commit that then. You know, I shouldn't put this off screen. You can make it so that you can actually see it. Git status, git add editor. Oh. Making the add track part area larger. Sure. Now, the second thing is that I wanted to have like some sort of way to like indicate, I guess, where you can add and where you can't. So I think of a good way of doing that. One potential idea that comes to mind is, and this one's an easy one, might as well do it. Uh, with these edible track generators, there's these two prefabs, which I think is already in here anyway. Yeah. So, make um that will just make things easier. Okay, you know what? I am kind of flipping back and forth, but I'm thinking, yeah, how does this work? Um, this camera has it so that, yeah, like, whoops. This camera has it so that the game camera, there's a track editor in world, and the culling mask is everything but the track editor. But it does allow seeing the track editor in world. And does the prefab come with a physics raycaster? It does come with a physics raycaster. Um, I don't know why it does actually. Oh, because it's a variant. And then if the variant, and without the variant, it doesn't have it. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, I should just name that variant if I'm to be completely honest. I must have made it in a rush or something. So this is part of project prefab. Menus. Uh, I'm inclined to rename this as the main camera, editor camera. Nope, still bad name. Track editor camera. Oh, I see. Um, think that should be okay then. Yeah, so this editable track generator should be okay then. Ha ha ha. I think still that would be the easier way of doing it. Yeah, so what I'm debating on is figuring out which thing, physics raycaster, uh layer to enable. I'm gonna put it on the camera after all. I think that's just gonna be the easier way to do this. I was originally thinking about going through all the track generators and editing stuff that way, but I don't think that'll be a good idea. I actually still don't think that's a good idea. I think that's a better idea now that I think about it, because all these layers are part of default and it's going to raycast those, and we want to ignore those. So yeah, I take that back. This one we don't want it to be in default. Save. Let's see if it, oh yeah, naming default camera variant, name to something descriptive. I'm thinking, yeah, that's all I'm thinking. And we'll just have to edit the vehicle to collide with that. So all triggers does not matter. These poles don't, do they have a collider? They do. They don't matter too much. The track does. The track has a box collider. So this is the only one where I'm going to say track editor and world. No, this object only. I only care about the colliders in this case. Yes. Then here, there's a bunch of stuff here. Track. This one has a mesh collider and the rest does not. So this mesh collider, I am going to say you are also going to have a track in world. Will still render. So let's see if that worked. Yeah, good. So you can see that I cannot add on top of the track, which last time you can see the cursor on there. So this is good. This is progress. So we've decreased the area that you can actually add a track in. Just to make sure. Making the track mesh colliders. Editor masked in. That really does not make sense. Changing the layers of the track part colliders so that one can click on them with the editor camera. More importantly, this prevents the user from adding tracks that overlaps an existing part somewhat. It's not the best solution, but it's not a full solution to that problem, but it's kind of close. I got that. The need to figure out the distance um, that the closest distance the user can actually create a track part. And like I said, I'm gonna probably use the width of the track to sort of make like a sphere-ish or a circle-ish around on the plane. Make a probably a simple shader effect to indicate that this is the area you can add stuff and this is the area where you cannot. Yeah, something simple to that effect. Anyways, so let's get some water a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, with that in mind, my thought process is let's start with the easy part where thinking a cursor, but swapping the cursors out is probably going to be easier to do. Um, transform, transform. There we go. Want the transform, then maybe, I don't know, I guess I'll use a game object for now. Game object can add icon. Add disabled icon. Um, Probably something like public game object enabled, public game object disabled. Probably gonna get a ton of stuff. Public bool is visible. Uh, Yeah, I think that all works. Um, on pointer enter. Then we need some sort of logic here to indicate whether there is an editor reference. Okay. Some sort of pointer here to indicate whether user can add a track or not on pointer exit, which really doesn't matter too much. Then position the cursor. Fix me adjust the cursor state. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna probably choose the simplest method. So I already have a track editor here, right? Um, right, there's an add part. Let's say get um, and add is valid track part and bin. Let's just make. Why is it even more stickier than before? There we go. Then cursor dot enabled dot set active. Ooh. Full um is cursor. So something to effect. Now this needs to be good. So oh yeah, it doesn't contain definition. I just created it now. Anyways, uh, then we go definition. Full has all the methods it's recommended. But in this case, Should I? Nah, I don't. That. Yeah. So I get full is valid. Object source. Actually, a model behaviors. I'm gonna say model behavior. Then vector 3 world position. Back to back valid after all. Alright. That delegate probably needs to be defined higher up. Something like now this is not gonna fly because it's not defined yet. Then first off, it needs the track editor needs to be highlighting something. So full return flag equals false. Return flag. If selected part. Nope. Has value. If the selected part has value, then check to see if the selected part check distance from world position. Okay, speaking of world position, there's a question about distance. Running the square root is bad in this case, so where possible, you should try using just a square magnitude. Check the distance from world position. End of selected track part. Dot value dot end point. Pretty darn sure the way this has been implemented, the I endpoint. Trackable position. reference. This seems to be world position. Yeah, okay. So endpoint dot trackable position dot value subtract by world position. If diff dot square magnitude, and we'll also have to add in I want to say float add cursor margin. Say 5. It's if diff dot square magnitude is greater than the track editor dot selected part dot value dot endpoint dot trackable width dot value uh need to calculate the width. If float in distance equal add cursor margin plus this stinking value. All right. You're not cooperating. That's cool. In distance multiplied by itself. Grab how close the world position can be from world position end of selected track part. There, that should solve that problem. So I could kind of be silly and where this cursor is here, take this out. I think it's 45. 45, 5, something to that effect. Um, oh, the square is larger for some reason. Shrink the square too then. Where are you? Shrink. Oh, weird stuff going on all around. But I think that actually looks right, yeah. So now, oops. Yeah, that looks right. This cursor needs some extra. Oh, that's not. That's not intentional. You need this, this, this. Sure. So you can see it turning into a square here. Um, I don't think that's. Oh no, that's perfect, I guess. Yeah, so this is my placeholder indicator for you can't click there, but it lets you do it anyways. So I need to of course figure out a way to prevent that. Um, as value is visible and enabled or something like that. Yeah, something simple like that. So right now it's using is visible, probably needs is visible and enabled. So wherever the heck is visible is being used. On pointer down, visible, hold, nope, don't do anything. Hold, set up the starting position of the new track part. So long as it's visible, do trigger on pointer move. That looks right. Bind to part. Sure. Yeah, so I'm clicking all over the place and I can't add anything there, so that's a good thing. Now I expected that. That's totally okay. Um, there's only so much I can do. I'm gonna allow that for now. So now I just want the plane to visually indicate that somehow. Um, haven't thought of a good idea yet, but shouldn't be too hard to do something like that. This looks really cool, actually. Oh, whoops. Yeah, see. So I do need like a preview of what the track is going to look like. So I just need like a simpler track generator. Probably using the lowest, yeah, the lowest LOD. Anyways, this looks good though. I like how this track looks in general. Um, well, besides that, but like that looks really cool to me. So yeah, let's push that in. Enforcing, adding or adding curse, add track par playing cursor, um, enabled and disabled state, preventing adding a track part if cursor in a disabled state. Gonna push that. Cool. I will take a brief break. Then I'll look into. I think next thing I want to look into is figuring out how to create a shader for the plane. Um, so that yeah, so that it knows how to deal with this. I can't words. Be right back. Okay. We got that visuals in there. Now we need to do some shader magic. Or get a couple of things in here for preparation. One last thing I was thinking before I go too far, and actually this one's fairly easy for me to do, is so let's see. That looks fine. In game, where is my plane here? Add range plane cursor. So right now it's at 29. Then there's like a minimum scale. I want a max scale on this too. So yeah, move camera, zoom, not far enough. Oh, it's clipping out. Let's say the max zoom is like 100. Yeah. So this camera distance resizer, um, min max. We'll make this a vector 2, new vector 2. Basically scale dot scale equals math f dot clamp scale min max scale x min max scale y. Yeah, something to that effect. That's good enough for me. um, I think go max to the camera distance sizer. Cool. And then shaders. So what I'm thinking is this really we just need two values. Um, one is sort of like a central vector, where maybe it'll be a world position, maybe it'll be a local position. I have yet to decide. But that'll be the position where the plane is considered like central. And then I was thinking the other thing I could do is, I guess it's more of a, anyways, the other thing I could do is put in like a distance value, and that should be enough to calculate it, I think. Sorry, I'm thinking as a complete aside, I was thinking that I could sort of enhance this, not this algorithm, which does a simple, distance check. But if it's behind, oh, but how do I even calculate if it's behind the track then? Yeah, it's a little weirder when it comes to that part. You know what? I'm just gonna leave this as it is. Anyways, um, so same algorithm as this, just replicated in a shader, is what I'm thinking for these planes here. Um, yeah, that's what I'll do. Show that in mind. Where do I typically add in my shaders here? Fortunately, this project has ballooned so significantly. um, so that's not it. Scripts, JSON, track editor. Good enough. Um, Shaders. Oh, okay, that's cool. Create folder. Let's create shader graph. Good old. It doesn't really need to be lit. Yeah, it doesn't need to be lit. Um, Add plane. Cool, that looks good. Uh, First off, it is supposed to be unlit. It's not supposed to be opaque. There's some transparency that we want. Um, all that looks fine. Um, I think I'm just gonna go in like start position, um, and min distance. Oh, nice. It actually defaults correctly. Min distance, I don't know. We'll pull in 10. Actually, it's probably closer to 45. That looks right. That looks right. Um, Vertex does not, I don't need vertex or normal or tangent. So this vertex thing, just gonna stay here a little sad. Um, Base color. Yeah, I kind of want a color. Is it main color or something like that? Um, we'll have this like some random value. Sure. There. An alpha. Yeah, that looks maybe wrong, but uh, where are most of my shaders in what folder? They're under project. Okay. project. Sure, save that. I'm saving it now because I do want to test it. Here we go. Yeah, track editor. Let's edit you. Um, got these lit material. XYZ plane. Let me say, duplicate that. Add plane. This one uses where's project, add plane, start position, color. I don't know why that looks weird. Sure. Then both of these, set it to add plane. It looks bad, but that is okay. A-okay. Because that is intentional. Yeah, that looks just really, really bad. That looks really, really bad. uh, sure. Move color up. Save asset. Not that that makes any difference. Thing alpha is a little strange here. Is it possible to add a block node? Alpha clip. That might be useful. It may also not be. Here, split. I noticed that the alpha is not showing up, so let's do that. That should make that happy. There we go. That looks slightly less worse. Not great, but slightly less worse. I'm gonna make this, oh, you can make HDR too, interesting. That was not what I was looking for though. I was looking for, uh, additive. Oh, okay. Um, I don't feel like additive did the right thing. It's, multiply, or just good old alpha. What the heck is pre-multiply, to be honest? That is stark contrast to alpha. Okay, well, let's just stick with alpha for time being. At least like I know what to predict and see for alpha. Then metallic, base color, ambient occlusion. Alpha apparently isn't used. Normal alpha bright mask. I see. Complete D still. Um, right. So then need a start position. I guess I need like a position, geometry, uh, position, world, position. Should I make it world or should I make it object? I think I should make it world for now. Um, Position, start position, um, distance, if that distance is uh, greater, yeah, logic comparison. Let's say A. That distance is greater, then multiply it by this. Wait, what? Does it not convert bool to int? Utility, speed tree, which I don't care, utility, and no. Conditional if branch. Yeah, that's good enough. Distance is greater than that, else that. To organize this a bit. Ah, how did that happen? How could this happen? Sure. Okay, there it is. That looks about right. Yeah, it just creates a big gaping hole. So that's my original plan. I think that looks fine. Um, I might want to put in like a square here for like to track the track or something like that. I don't know. I haven't really thought that part through. But this looks fine to me. Might want to adjust the green color a bit. But that looks good. This looks about what I wanted. Um, Save. Git add dot. Git status. Git commit. The start position 0, 0, not great. Adding shader for add plane. Which creates a hole at a specific point. So then the one couple of things we want to do is add a shader here. So we'll probably want that, and we want a renderer, list of renderers, plain renderer, And anytime we move to a specific location, fix me, set up materials in each renderer. Speaking of materials, do I want to edit the shared material? Yeah, there's no good reason to create a new one in this case because we're always going to be using the same one. So, um, for each var render in plain renderers, that should be plural. Dot shared material dot set vector. This one's going to be interesting because it takes in a vector 4, right? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it just takes in only a vector 4. How annoying. Name ID. We are calling this start position. And we have an editor selected part. Oh, there's a position right there anyway, so it doesn't matter. Never mind. Then we need to figure out the distance. What calls move to? Bind to part. Uh, Listen to changes in position and rotation. Yes, I'm supposed to do that. Then unbind from that. I see. Um, yeah, this isn't urgent right now, so I'm gonna leave that as it is. But shared material dot set float. And distance or something like that. Um, float distance. I'm gonna just default to 45, which is really arbitrary. Then editor dot where else is move to referenced? There. I see. Um, Nothing is referencing this. I'm gonna take that out. Something to the effect. See if my intuition is wrong. Yep, so far my intuition is completely wrong. Why though? Probably because I didn't the start position and min distance. No, I want your reference names to remain the same. Yeah, that's correct. This is also correct. Oh, it also doesn't take into account the buffer. So, yeah, it needs to take the buffer into account. That's in the model. Need that model again. We don't need the iPart wrapper or this anymore. Uh, go to it. Selected part, bunch of trackables. Is there a reason why I'm supposed to go? Uh, I want that to be public variable. I think yes, just generally speaking. Probably we're going to want to turn these both into public variables as well, if I'm to be completely honest. Oh, no, there's a better way of doing this. Yeah, there's a far better way of doing this. Because trackables are supposed to be serialized, so yeah, something to the effect. Something to the effect. I think I eventually want to make the undo history. Yeah, I want to eventually make the undo be like um serialized field too. But less. Actually, I might as well just make this a public. And for backwards compatibility, something to that effect for now. Not the best setup, but whatever. And that needs to be set. You know what? Let's see how much that's gonna bite me. It did not. Ah, see? Nice. I probably don't need to show the cursor anymore if there's a hole there. Yeah, I probably don't need to show the cursor anymore if there's there. Um, but that's a good indicator. I like that. Um, I can make this simple for myself. If it's disabled, then don't even bother rendering anything. Just an empty in there. Just like that. Kind of beautiful. Uh, that was not fun. Yeah, this is always gonna be a sucky thing. Oh, I made a good old cul-de-sac. Suburban street planning right here. Um, so yeah, this is nice. There's a lot of Z fighting going on, I see, with a lot of these meshes. I'm not gonna fight that for now. Um, no pun intended. In theory, I'm supposed to be hiding them anyways, and I probably will actually by default, honestly. I'll figure out how to add a script to turn them on later. Especially since we're supposed to pull in some sort of indicator to show which, uh, you know, which track part you've selected, which there's not an obvious indicator to do. There's no obvious visual metric to let you know of that. That's something I want to relate at some point. Cool. This looks like what I want. Uh, yes. That is. Um, adding dating. That shader is probably not very efficient, I'm thinking. I'm wondering if there's an easier way for me to get sort of like a magnitude. Yeah, I wonder, is there like a magnitude thing? Shader, get, uh, vector, t-shader graph, that is. Vector, distance, square, magnitude. Is this, yeah, but I'm talking about shader graph. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not having a good feeling about that, but I'll add this anyways. Uh, updating add plane, um, materials to dynamically adjust the whole size of the that works as it is, so I'm gonna keep pushing that. And I'm slightly annoyed by that loading screen thing. But yeah, let's see if I can figure out a way to optimize this shader further, because there's at least one optimization I can very easily do. There's two optimization measures that I know of that I could very easily do at least. I'm kind of annoyed that I don't know how to do them. It may just be one of those I write a function kind of thing. But yeah, is there just like a good old subtract? Yeah, let's try a simple subtract first. So this subtracted by that, that's fine. Then out. Is there any like math vector want distance, I want squared magnitude. Procedural, what about utility? Yeah, I might just have to split it. Don't really do that. Okay, yeah, I might just have to split it. Split. Um, where? No, no option for that. How about power? Yeah. Uh, oh, you only have add. That's really annoying. No, this feels awkward. This feels really awkward. Uh, can I just create like a sub shader here? Subgraph, cool. Um, vector square magnitude. Oh, how cute. It tried to guess what my output is. Um, yes, the output should just be a float. Thank you. And the input is basically any vector. Vector 4, vector 4. Um, A, B, let's split between those 4. Yeah, I think that works. Feel like I could have done a cross product or something. It's really something stupid, silly. Oh well. Or save that. So I can get rid of this shenanigans right here that really looks awkward and silly and stupid. Um, then there's now subgraphs. Yes, sweet. Vector square magnitude. Nice. Um, that should create that. Is there like a way to convert? Guess not. This subcraft, this out probably could be renamed. This is not going to be correct, so yeah, this works. Ah, cancel. Just save it. This square magnitude. Thinking this could be faster, we don't even need these powers. Yeah, we don't need these powers nodes at all. Just need a multiply node. And I know multiply is fast, so yeah, multiply is faster than power, so yeah, that's just that. Alrighty. This is probably the most optimal I can make for distance comparison. Thinking. Okay, let's see if this is any better. Probably performance-wise, not significant, not noticeably so on my computer, but I think I assume it's better because it's just far, far faster to do multiplications than it is square roots. But yeah, I think this works. So other than that, I probably want to pull in some more creative, uh, more creative shader effect here than this boring single plane. But at least a plane is demonstrative of what it does, so kind of left that alone as is. thinking if there's a way to like not noise, what's the word I'm looking for? Checkerboard shapes. Yeah, I'm not liking this idea. I'll worry about that later. Yeah, I'll worry about making this look nicer later. Um, but I like the idea of adding git add dot git commit, adding optimizing add plane shader to use distance magnitude comparison, then actual distance calculations, and avoid square root operations. My game itself actually has that the prototype itself actually has a problem of using the distance formula too many times and that slowing down the game significantly. So my hope is to take out, my hope is to reduce the performance of that very soon. But that's probably not going to be until sometime very late next year, if not the year after. I'm going to call it a night this case. I did want to do a very short stream this time around. It is already towards holidays. I checked Twitch stream. Obviously, I'm streaming now, but I will not be streaming next week. So and the week after. So I'm going to be taking at least 2 weeks of holidays off from streaming. So that's the plan. So sorry, short stream. Just wanted to sort of enhance and make sure there are some limitations that add operation. Eventually, I want to change the cursor model to be something a little more vertical than round as it is right now. So it's a little more like a bowl, I guess. And then there's also the fact that I want like a silhouette of where you're going to be adding your track to at some point. So there's a lot of operations I want to adjust, fine tune that specific operation with. Um, but I think the next couple of parts that I want to focus, and probably I'm going to do off screen, is saving and loading a track file. I think I want to focus on that next, and being able to switch from, you know, track editing to track racing, so you can actually test what you're working on. But yeah, this is it. I think this looks pretty good for me. So pretty happy with where things are at. Cool. With that in mind, guess I'll see you all 2022 next year, and we'll see how far I've gotten. Uh, I've let's see how much break I took during the vacation, and see if I've improved the game any significantly since then. In any case, see you all and have a good night. Bye.